He's got some great stuff lined up to show off. I just want to remind everybody, and kind of if this is your first time watching one of these sessions, you can use the chat in the bottom of crowdfiber.com/crowdsessions to ask any questions throughout the session. We got a few that we got ahead of time, but feel free to ask any throughout. If you have any issues, feel free to email me. This session will be archived and uploaded afterwards, so I'll send out a link by the end of business today. And yeah, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Bailey.
Bailey, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chase. And I appreciate everyone taking a few minutes to spend some time with us and learn a little bit about some new features. I wanted to try this one a little bit differently than what we've done in the past and step back for a moment and talk a little bit about the way CrowdFiber works and some of the things that we're seeing in the marketplace and share those things and get folks' thoughts on them. So the title of this one is Workflows with a subcontext of re-engaging your backers. And I wanted to spend just a minute and reflect on kind of what we've seen in the past with CrowdFiber and what we're starting to see as a trend in CrowdFiber and share that with you. So the traditional model in CrowdFiber has been that you've used CrowdFiber as a highly customized tool to be able to work with any kind of location or geography that you want to serve, and using CrowdFiber basically to present the person coming in to the system with exactly what is relevant for their particular location, right? It's all based on zones. And so that has worked really well. We've got some customers now with 5,000 or 10,000 installations based on CrowdFiber. We're over, I think, 100,000 registrants on CrowdFiber just in the US. So the system is working tremendously well for our customers. But I have seen some challenges with this, and this slide talks about those a little bit. One of the challenges is that the customer comes in, they do this stuff, they order their products or whatever you've asked them to specify during their sign-up process, and then they'll tend to wait, right? They're waiting for you to decide on where you're going to build, or they're waiting for you to do your engineering or construction or what have you. Once you've actually hit the critical mass you're looking for and are ready to do construction, then traditionally our users have taken the process back to their customer service reps. They've gone through and contacted those people, usually by phone, sometimes by email, and then spent the time to go through and actually get them into their operational systems and ready to be served. We have some tools now that will help you save time and money in doing this, and I think give you better registration experiences, higher uptake, and faster customer response. So that is what the workflow tools are all about, and let me go in now and tell you kind of what the process can be. So one of the things that we've started to see our customers do is to say, you know what, let's take some time and work with people over time. So let's start and ask them, for example, to join a list or sign up on CrowdFiber or whatever it is, register on CrowdFiber. And the idea is that they're going through and they're giving some initial high-level interest, but they're not actually picking products or signing a contract or making a deposit. Now, sometimes you'll be ready to go ahead and do that. There may be very good times where you want to go ahead and get that full set of information, but there are other times where all that is not needed, and it may be more effective just to ask them to open the conversation with you, right? To join on CrowdFiber and just start interacting, right? Start learning about your company, start learning about your processes and what you're doing, right? And becoming familiar with you. So what CrowdFiber will let you do now is set up zones where you have people just opt in with very, very limited information, right? Maybe you get their contact info and that's it, for example. Very, very simple. And then come back later and ask them to actually go ahead and complete an order with you. And there they could go through and specify a complex bundle with triple play services and different premium channels, managed Wi-Fi, things like that, sign a contract, make a deposit, those kinds of things. So what I want to do is in a minute, I actually want to show you. In fact, let me show you right now, make this interesting. So this is an example customer, and I've talked with them, and they've agreed to volunteer for the session to kind of explain the process that they're using. So let's go in and look at this. So I'm going to type in a test address. Okay, so here's an example of that initial opt-in, right? So sort of a welcome message, right? Contact info, and then press submit. Right? Very, very simple, very clean, very easy to do on your mobile phone or anything else, just to opt in. Okay, so now let's go in and let's try another address. We're going to look at an address where they actually have construction starting. So let's go in, type this one in. Okay, so now you see a completely different presentation. Still in a zone, right? Both of these addresses are in zones that the customer specified, but this one lets you select products, answer many different questions, right? So they can truly identify your home and things like that, right? And it even goes through and they'll actually have you sign a contract and that sort of stuff all in this. I won't go through that process because, again, it's a live system, but I wanted to show you the differences. And you may say, yeah, okay, Bailey, I knew it could handle that, right? So that's all good. Now, the thing, though, that we've added now, and we'll be going through in this example, is an ability for you to bridge the gap between those. So what happens to someone who has come in and joined that initial list and it now is ready to actually go ahead and complete an order? How do you reach those people? What do you do? Well, that's what the workflow process I'm going to show you lets you do. So what are the benefits in that? First, from the prospect standpoint, it's so much easier to opt in, right? With that very little limited ask of information that you're doing at the beginning. You're not asking them to create a deep bond with you. You're not expecting heavy obligations, things like that. You're just asking them to start the conversation. It feels very natural to me. From a provider standpoint, this also gives you, if you start out kind of low like this, it gives you some time to be able to customize offerings. Let's say you're not quite sure of the products and services you want to offer in that particular area. It gives you some time. Maybe, in fact, it allows you not to show your competitors what you're going to offer. But I think most importantly, it can save you a lot of operational time as then you go through and you get all those details when you're ready to actually do the install. That way the information is current and you can ask a much deeper level of information now that you're ready to do an install as opposed to simply prospecting. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is go into our demo system and actually show you a little bit about what this might look like. So let's go into the back end here, and I think everyone is familiar with this. This is the admin system that each of you is able to get into. Shows you kind of everything going on in CrowdFiber and gives you a lot of different tools to be able to control the system and do different things. We're going to go into orders now, and let's start filtering orders. Let's go in my case, we're going to pick a small zone just of test orders that I've got. And you can see basically I've got 7 orders here that are listed. Okay, so I want to show you, for example, how I could go through now and ask the people who have signed up in this particular zone to do something more. So let's say, for example, now I'm ready to have them fill out a questionnaire and even make a payment, for example. So you'll see I went down under those bulk activities and I selected more information. Okay, and this is really the key workflow tool that we have built, and you'll see us do more and more with this over time in the coming months. But here I can go through now and I can specify the different panels that I want someone to complete. So let's say, for example, at the beginning, all I did was just provide a high-level opt-in, put my name and info in, right? And that was about it. So now I'm ready to go in and have them actually go ahead and specify the products they want. Let's say I want them to go ahead and complete the questionnaire as well. And let's say I want them to go ahead and sign a terabit broadband agreement, right? So all that is specified now. Now you can see that here is a list of all the people that we've targeted for this based on your selections. I could also say, you know what? Okay, I've got a couple duplicates here, so let's take Bailey off of that one, and let's actually take these off too, right? This is, again, is test data, so you see some messy stuff that you wouldn't normally see. So now I only have 2 people actually selected to get this particular request. And this tool is very, very powerful because you can target any number of people, and you can ask them to do any number of things. So I would caution everyone in this. If you've got interest in starting with this, you can start to play with this, but go ahead and press this green button, file a ticket, and let us actually spend a little time with you on this one to talk through what you want to do, because this is definitely the most powerful feature we've offered to you so far. So then basically there will be a tag requested here, and this tag, make a note of it if you like, or set it as something simpler to remember. This tag will let you be able to pull these orders back up, the ones that you're asking more info of, and be able to do things with them. So make that tag something simple. I'll just leave it as a system default for now. And then you can see I'm able to go in and specify how I'd like to contact people. So I can send emails to them, or I can send direct mail, or I can do both out of this workflow and be able to get things going there. So that's kind of how the process works. Let's say, for example, that I want to, in fact, even send an email. Gives me a warning, by the way, that contracts will go out immediately, if contract signatures will go out immediately if I want to do this. That's okay, again, because I'm just doing testing here. And you'll see now it's set up my information request. It has not communicated that overall yet, but I can simply go here, click on this button, and in fact, it popped up on a different screen. I'll show this to you. And that will let me go ahead then and create a mass email to get out and notify people. Now, as they come in, they'll be able now to click on the action and be able to fill out the form, right, and complete their order in whatever way you've specified. And so this, again, is very powerful to come back and re-engage people. And then if you go back into orders, now I can look at my tags, right, and I can see the ones that have been put in here. So here is one from today, and then I can see the orders that I've specified, right? And I can go into each order and track it and make sure that all the information I've now requested is received. So let's go in and take a look at one of these, and you can see, for example, the activities that have gone on here, and now the new items that have been requested in that customer. So that's a very quick and relatively high-level view of the way this new workflow process works. Like I said, you'll continue to see us expand this area over time, but it is a very powerful way to re-engage people. Some of the other uses that you could use this for example, would be customer satisfaction surveys. So let's say, for example, that you wanted to assess how people went with their install, right? So you could go ahead and contact them after the installation using this process, filtering down orders based on date ranges or their status fields, and then assess their interest or their satisfaction with the installation. Maybe you want to target people a year afterwards. Make sure they're not going to churn off. You could do that again with this workflow tool. So with that, I wanted to check with you, Chase, and see if we've gotten any questions as I'm presenting.
Yeah, well, we not during presenting, but we've had a couple that we collected ahead of time from some customers. One of the big ones is, can everyone use this feature?
Great question. So this feature, because of the power in it, the things you can do, and the fact that we do want to work with our customers as they go through and complete these, is an enterprise feature. So it is enabled for all of our customers who have enterprise level service.
Awesome. Well, I got another one. Do you have any recommendations that you'd say before a customer kind of gets started with it?
Oh, that's a good one. The biggest thing I would think about would be to do a little testing. So, in your orders, for example, at the beginning, go through and just filter it down to yourself. Assuming you've got some interest that you've put in, right? Go ahead and filter down a list of the things that you want to work with, and just try it. Try something on your own. It's a great way to start to get an experience with the software. And then the second thing would be to go ahead again and click that green button and ask for help so that we can help you and work through what you want to do.
Awesome. Well, I kind of think that's all we've got for right now.
All right, terrific. Well, thank you again. I really appreciate everyone taking a few minutes to learn about this exciting new capability.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Bailey. Everyone, we will this archive will go up just after this. I'll kind of shoot out a link to it to all the people that signed up here in a bit, and you can also always find it at crowdfiber.com/crowdsessions. We'll be back next week with another session. Not sure just what the topic is just yet, but we're going to figure that out, and we'll have something great for you next week. So feel free to tune in with us next week or check out the archive. Feel free to ask any questions that you have, through Help Ticket or through email. If you need any help with this part of the software or any part of the software. With that, we will see you next week, and thank you so much for joining us.